Hi, this is Jana Whitley. I'm the author of My Little Pony Crochet, and I am going to continue showing you how to make the Twilight Sparkle figure from the kit materials. And I'll show you the picture of Twilight Sparkle. There she is. So in the previous video, I showed you how to make the head and the ears, and that now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to sew the ears to the head, and then afterwards, after that, I'm going to show you how to make this the body, and how to form the base, and then how to put the head and the body together, and then if we have time, we'll do the little wings. Alright, so now I've got my pins, and these are large-headed pins. So they don't use dressmaker pins, because they have the tiny heads and they'll get lost in the crochet work. So I've pinned these on there, and I've got the longer tail for sewing, and here's the shorter beginning tail. And I'm just going to, I'm going to go ahead and take my needle and hide that in the head right now. So let me grab my needle. So here's the needle from the kit. And I think most people who crochet agree that sewing is their least favorite part of making amigurumi. It's tends to be kind of slow and just not as relaxing. I think you have to worry a little bit more about where things are. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that tail through about 1 inch away and just clip the end so that it's not in the way anymore. And I'll do the same on the other side. And I'm having trouble getting this end through, so I'm just gonna make it a little more smooth, get it through the eye of the needle. Boy, this one's stubborn. Please stand by for technical difficulties. Okay, hang on. Okay, I got that stubborn end through that needle. Sorry for the delay. I'm just going to pop that down into the head and emerge about 1 inch away and trim that close to the work. Make sure you don't snip the crochet stitches. Alright, let's get started on the sewing bit. Now, I often have people ask me about sewing parts together. There's some excellent videos on this on the Planet June website, planetjune.com. But basically, you're going to go down into the head and emerge about 1 stitch later. And then, if you can catch both loops of the next stitch of the ear, then do that. If not, just catch 1 stitch, but you come through those loops just right there, and then you go back down into the same hole where in the head, and then come down, emerge from in the head a little bit further on, about 1 stitch away. So that creates a nice straight stitch. It's going to go from here to here. Then we're going to go to the next. And June Gilbank, who does Planet June, she has the great advice of you want to go just a little further away from the sewn on piece to kind of just stretch it out just a little bit. if that makes sense. So like, for example, instead of emerging right here underneath the stitches, just come out here just a fraction of an inch away from it. I always feel like Dr. Frankenstein when I'm sewing body parts together. My daughter recently, she cut herself and her finger, and she got 3 stitches in her thumb. And when it was time to remove the stitches, I'd never removed them before. So the doctor just took a little pair of scissors, just very similar to this, and snip, 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 and with some tweezers. And I thought, oh, I should have just done that at home. Saved myself a trip to the office. But if it happens again, next time I'll know how to remove stitches. Just kind of the opposite of what I'm doing here. Like my husband, when he was watching my daughter get the stitches, and as he's watching the doctor, he thought, well, heck, my wife could do that. She's good with a needle. Okay, so I finished going around. So, and then I brought the tail end away from the ear. I think I'll go just a little further, just to make sure it won't pop out. Okay, and then I'll just trim that like so, and make sure you don't have any like dimples there. Like if you have a little frayed end coming out, you can just take your needle and kind of pull the crochet work so that it hides that end inside. Okay, so there's one ear on, and of course the next ear will be exactly the same. So I'm going to pause and then do it off camera and come back. Okay, and we're back. We've got the ears on, and it's time to start the body. So I've got the ball of purple yarn. I've got the 2.75 millimeter hook. I'm going to use my Clover soft touch hook because I do a lot of crocheting, and using the small metal hooks is kind of hard on my hands. So I'm grabbing the book, and we're going to be on page 24. It says pony body worked from bottom to top. Okay, and we're going to start with, if you know magic loop, you can start with your magic loop. Otherwise, you can start with your chain 2, and then you're going to single crochet 6 in the second chain from the hook. So I'll do that. I'm going to make a slip stitch. I've got my tail, make a loop with the working yarn coming off the ball. I'm going to pull a loop through with my hook like a pretzel, and then I can pull the working yarn to cinch that up. So there's my slip stitch to start, and 1, 2 chains, and I'm going to insert my hook in that second chain from the hook and do 6 single crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you always want to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the next round you're going to single crochet 2 in each round, which makes a total of 12. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12. So at this point, if you've got kind of a little donut hole because of your chain right there, don't worry about closing it up, because when we make the base, it's going to be sewn in and you won't even see it. Okay, so I need a stitch marker. So I'm going to grab a little piece of contrasting yarn. I've got this nice hot pink yarn. Grab a little bit off of there. You can also use commercial stitch markers if you prefer. They're kind of like plastic safety pins. These guys, I have a bunch of these here, but I actually prefer using the yarn bits. It just goes a lot faster, because rather than inserting it into the loop, I just lay it across the round I just made, and then as I make the next stitch, it's going to trap it, and so it doesn't slow me down. So it seems to work a lot faster. And you always want to use the same thickness of yarn that you're crocheting with, so that it won't leave any gaps, because if it's, you know, like bulky yarn, it might leave a little hole there. Okay, so we're going to do 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next, so that it makes 3 there. And let's see, just repeat that around for 6 times. So single and then increase. So make 1 and 2 in the same stitch, and again repeat that pattern, single and 2 singles, and single, 2 singles. Okay, single, 2 singles. Nice and easy, making those circles with the regular 6 increases. So the next round, that should add 18. So let's count, make sure we got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, that's correct. So let's we're going to lay that stitch marker over, go in the next stitch, and this time we're going to single crochet 1. Oops, I missed that stitch. Okay. All right. Okay, my camera's telling I need to focus. There's 1, 2, a single, and then an increase. Okay, and then repeat that, single, single, and then 2 singles in the next stitch, or an increase, single, single, and increase, single, single, increase. Just repeat that, those stitches around, single, single, increase, single, single, increase. Okay, so that should be 24 around. Let's count. Take the stitch marker out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Good. All right, let's lay the stitch marker over, and this time we're going to be doing a single, a single, a single, and then an increase. So 2 single crochets after the 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then the increase. And that'll make a total of 30 stitches. Okay, we're almost to the end. Repeat the pattern one more time. 1, 2, 3, and the last stitch will have an increase. Okay, there we go. So that should be 30. Count them around. Move up your stitch marker. Now, you're going to do, you're going to form the base by, you're going to work at the back loops only, and that's going to kind of turn the edge so that it makes it easy to kind of form a right angle, if that makes sense. Okay, so we just go around. So put your hook in just the back loop. Let me see if I can get that nice and close. So instead of going under both loops, just catch that loop that's on the back, or in other words, by your tensioning hand. You know, if you're right-handed, that'll be one closest to your left hand. And just go in there and make your single crochets around. So there's no counting or increasing in this round. And because there's no increasing, that'll start to turn, make it curved like a little bowl. So you want to make sure your right side of your stitches is on the outside. Okay, what I mean is, you should see this ridge of stitches. This is the remaining front loops. That should be toward you, and it should be curved this way with your working loop closer to you. You don't want it like that. This would be the wrong side. And you don't want your working loop away from you. Okay, so let's finish this round. Oh, am I losing focus there? There we go. So as you can tell, my video work is very much amateur stuff. Do it all by myself with my phone and a little clamp that holds with a gooseneck arm that holds it for me. Okay, so here I am back at the beginning of the round. There's my stitch marker. Let's move that up. Now there's a special note in here. This is a little bullet that says leave an extra stitch marker in the third single crochet before the end of round 6 for the leg seam. So I'm going to grab these plastic stitch markers. You can use a different color of, you know, if you're using, you can use a different yarn, but I'm just going to grab one of these guys, and I'll go back 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Leave an extra stitch marker in the third single crochet before the end of round 6. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it right here, and it's like a safety pin. Just pop that in there. Okay, now we can start. I'll put my regular stitch marker back, and now I'm going to, in both loops, single crochet in each single crochet around. So remember, you're gonna grab both loops and just trap that stitch marker. Okay, and simply just go round and round, and you're going to do that for a total of 7 rounds. So you don't want to watch me do that because that's boring and I don't have enough jokes to entertain you with. So I will see you in a minute. Okay, so off camera I did 7 rounds of 30 single crochet around for each round, and now I'm going to move my stitch marker up, and remember I'm going to leave this one here. That's telling me that's where I'm going to make my legs. So bring my stitch marker up. We're going to start round 14, and we're going to decrease. And if you saw my previous video, we talked about invisible decrease, and you definitely, if you don't know invisible decrease, you definitely want to use it because it leaves a smooth finish. It doesn't leave any gaps. Okay, and so you're going to want to go in the front loop only, and you swing your hook down and catch the front loop only of the next stitch. So you've got 2 front loops on your hook, and then keep your tension. You're going to be pulling over here with your left hand, And keep that tension tight as you pull it through those, just those 2 loops. So you've got 2 loops on the hook. And again, keep your tension tight. And there you go. There's the decrease. And you can do that 3 more times. And make sure you don't go down in again into the decreased stitches, because then that will add an extra stitch. So front loops, swing down, another front loop, grab the working yarn, pull through, grab through, pull it through 2. There's 2 decreases. And let's make 2 more of those. And remember, keep your tension tight, especially between the decreases, because you're pulling 2 stitches together, it's going to want to kind of pull apart. So you got to be tough and say, nope, we're going to yank you 2 stitches together. Okay, so that should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we are going to go 14 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so you should have 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I should have 8. Hang on just a sec, let me fix that. Okay, so yeah, I fixed the problem. I only had 29 stitches around. Last round I somehow dropped a stitch, or skipped a stitch. So I fixed the problem, so now I'm going to make 4 decreases to end this round. And you'll have 22 stitches around. So you'll count. You'll see that kind of cinches it up a little. Count around for 22. Let's go to the next round. And we are going to, oh, hang on a second. We need to leave an extra stitch marker here for tail placement. So I'm going to grab a little red stitch marker and put it right here in the last stitch. Okay, then I'm going to go to the next, let's get the other stitch marker in there too. So I'm going to have 2 stitch markers for now. And we are going to single crochet the next 18 and then decrease twice. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, ooh, that's a tight one, 12, 13, 14, 15, oops, let's see, the loose count, 15, 16, 17, and then 18. Now I should have 4 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I'm going to decrease twice. 1, 2. Okay, now I should have 20 around. So count those up. Then we're going to move the stitch marker up, leaving the tail stitch, this red one here for the tail, to tell me where to put the tail. Now we're going to do around 16, decrease twice, and then single crochet the next 6 stitches, and then decrease, and then 8 stitches. So let's see where we're going to make our next decrease, which was right here. Okay, so a lot of decreasing. Remember, keep that tension tight. There's 1, 2. Okay, so 2 decreases. Now we're going to go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a decrease here. So just grab that front loop, swing down, grab the other front loop. Okay, and then we're going to do 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that'll be 17 stitches around. So give that a count and move it up. Now you'll see, back by this red marker, this is where the pony's rear end is going to be. So the decreasing is forming kind of the sloping back there. And then up here we're going to decrease a little bit to form the neck. So you can see how it's going to look in comparison. That's sloping back the decreases on one side. All right, so let's see. We are on round 17. So we are going to single crochet next 15 and then decrease once. So that's easy enough. So I'm moving my stitch marker up and making sure to go in the right holes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and then we're going to decrease. So there's 2 more stitches in the round. Decrease. Goes for a total of 16 stitches. And it's getting pretty small. So my finger's just barely fitting in there. And I'm noticing I am almost out of this purple yarn. I'm getting a little nervous because I still have to make some wings. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we need to go to, we need to decrease and then go 6. So we'll go decrease right there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to decrease another. So get those front loops. Okay, whoops, this one's stubborn. Front loop, swing down, grab the next front loop, pull through 2, grab another, pull through 2, and then we're going to do 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that hole getting mighty small. Don't stuff it yet though, because we need to do some fancy needlework down here. We don't want the stuffing there yet. Okay, next we've got round 19, decrease, and then 10, and then decrease. Okay, and let's move the stitch marker up. Decrease. And then 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then we do the decrease to end it. Okay, so that should be 12 around. Next, we've got one more round. We're going to decrease and then go 10. So it should be 11 stitches to end with. So here we go. Let's see, I'm making sure we've got the right place. So decrease. Oops, let's try that again. Decrease, and then 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, 6. And 7. Oh, it's getting so tiny. 7, 8, 9, and oh, we're almost there. 10. Yay. So there's 11 stitches around in that last round, and then we're gonna slip stitch to make it kind of step down even, so make a more gradual transition with the beginning of the round. And go ahead and take that out. And now this is to leave it with a tail, but you know what? I've got a big long tail on the head here, so I'm just going to make a short tail, just like maybe 4 inches, just enough to, because I am really running out of yarn. Okay, so there's that. All right, so you should have there's your tail marker, and directly beneath it, like if you were to fold it like that, that's to mark where you are gonna start making the legs. Okay, so pitch, let's see, what are we doing? We are gonna assemble the legs. So so from the round 6 marker, which is this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to count 15 stitches around and mark the remaining front loop of round 15 with another stitch marker. So because there's 30 stitches around, so we want, basically you're going halfway. So let's see, we'll start here and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oop, hang on, I lost count. Let's try that again. Get it more in focus too. So there's 1. Let's see. You can count by these little ridges too, these remaining front loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that's 15. I'm gonna grab a stitch marker. Put it there. Let's see, I'm gonna double count again, make it sure. I've got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whoops, something's gone wrong here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. All right, so that's halfway. Now we are going to bring the 2 marked stitches on the base together, folding the base inward. So see this circle here? You're going to kind of push that inward, and then you're going to, it's like the mouth, it's like a mouth. Hello! Okay, so we're going to bring those 2 stitch markers together like so. And we're going to get some yarn, and we're going to sew these 2 bits together. So I'm gonna put a pin in there too to kind of make sure I'm targeting the right place. And I'm gonna grab some yarn. Let's see. Hang on just a sec. Let me grab some yarn. Okay, so I've got my yarn on my needle. I'm going to, first of all, I'll just go in through here to kind of secure it and hide that little tail, and then come in again and make kind of a half hitch, I think it's called. Did I get it? I think I need to go in there again. Okay, so all right, so that's secure in there. Okay, so I'm just going to stuff that little end in there so we can't see it. Now I'm going to come up through this first stitch marker and then come back down through to the second stitch marker on the opposite side. And then I'm going to loop it this way. I'm going to go whoop like that and go through again. I'm going to take that pin out and don't need that. Okay, so it tightens it up, see? Now you have a kind of a figure 8. And at this point I can take my little stitch markers out because it's not going anywhere. Okay, and then I can do another stitch, make it super strong. Okay, but don't fasten this off yet because we're going to use that again. So there's your figure 8. Now what you're going to do is you're going to count about 7 stitches from this seam. So you're going to go 1, 2, let's see, let's do this. Say 1. Well, it's easiest to count the little loops, I think, is remaining back loops. So if you stretch that out and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So because there should be like around like 14. We've used 2 stitches here. 14. So half of 14 is 7. So we're gonna go through this side and just gonna pull that side in, and I hope that's in focus for you. And pull that nice and tight, and then do a couple more stitches to really secure it there. Okay. You're going to be going through quite a lot of layers of thickness here. Oof. Oh, come on, get through. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now you're going to do the same thing the other side. You're just going to stretch that out. Count the stitches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you're going to go through and pull it, cinch it. And let's go through here again. Oh, I don't think I pulled that quite tight enough. Let's try that again. Okay. Okay, and you can also go, and not just on the edge here, but you can put the needle through like a round or 2 up to form the legs. So I'm going to do a stitch through there, and then you can do it on through here as well. Just make it nice and tight so it won't pop open once you put the stuffing in. Alright, so this is how it's looking. There's my base. So that forms, you can see there's the front, there's the side, the sloping back, and there's where the tail's going to be with her little bottom there. Alright, so let's secure this and hide the end. So we'll just do a quick little half hitch there. And just hide it inside. Just emerge about an inch away and just clip that. Okay, so that's probably the most tricky bit with the body that you have to worry about. Alright, now with the stuffing, let's grab, what you want to do is, we're going to put a little ball of stuffing in each of these little feet here. So we want it like about, roll it up to about that big, but smaller than a gumball, a little bit bigger than a green pea. And you're going to want get yourself a number 2 pencil. Well, doesn't have to be number 2, but you know, a pencil with, you know, eraser on the end, like a school type pencil. There you go. And we're going to just stuff that down in the neck hole and stuff it in one of the feet. Okay, did I get it in there? I feel like I didn't get in there. Okay. All right, then you're just going to do that with the other 3 legs. Get your little ball. Okay, see how it's making some legs there? Okay. Oops. Okay, doing the rear legs. Okay. All right, that's looking pretty good. So there's I've stuffed the legs now, and now I can stuff the rest of the body. Okay. Oh, let's see. And make sure you don't remove this marker here, because you'll want that for when you sew the tail on. After you make the tail. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish stuffing this off camera because that's just kind of slow. Okay, so I have finished stuffing the body. So there's the front, and here's the side. There's the rear end. So, okay, let's see if that'll stand up. Okay, should stand up. Okay, so if you want, I would recommend if you're not, if you want, you want, see, this is a really narrow neck and a big head, right? So it might tend to flop. I'm going to put a plastic straw in. This is a coffee stirring straw that I'm going to use. I'm going to insert that in there. And let's see, is that going to be too big? Maybe I'll cut some of that off. Okay. Cut it at an angle. And I'm going to insert that in the head. And if you want extra support, you can even use like two straws. You can also use a bamboo skewer. However, if you're giving this to a small child, I would not recommend putting any kind of plastic or wood bits in there because it might harm the child. It might come loose. So I'm going to use a pencil, okay, because this stuffing is very stiff. And I'm going to use a pencil to kind of create a hole for my straw to go into. There we go. Alright, so there it is, and let's pin that in place and sew it on. So you can have it as far as like positioning. I mean, you get to decide, do you want her head facing forward? Do you want it kind of to the side or 3/4? I'm going to do it kind of on the side here. Okay, and let's get the needle and sew that head on there. It's starting to look like a real pony now. Or a cat. Okay. Could be a cat if you wanted to make it. Okay, so I'm going to go down and grab that round. Now here's the beginning tail. I'm just going to, or sorry, the end tail from the body. Just going to work, I'm going to take care of that later. Okay, there we go. I'm just going around the posts, if you see that. Let's see if that's focused there. Yeah. So I'm going underneath the post of the stitch, and then coming down and grabbing under the post of the head stitches. Let's see, how's that holding up with the... So, I mean, it's a plastic straw. There's a little bit of a wobble, but it's definitely not going to, like, just flop right over. Nice thing about a plastic straw is it's not... It's, like, I used bamboo skewers on some of my other models, but with the plastic straw, you don't have to worry about it coming loose and accidentally stabbing a child. Okay. I'm just about finished with this sewing bit. Now normally, I'm the kind of person who likes to sew all the bits. I'm sorry, crochet all the parts, all of them completely before I actually assemble them. So if you like to do that too, I would recommend doing that. And rather than sewing as you go. Okay, and let's just hide that end. And then I'm going to take this end. Okay. Pop that inside, come out of the head. See how I'm just bringing it out a couple inches away. So I've got those little ends. I'm going to snip those like so. If it helps if you pull them kind of tight, and then they kind of spring back and hide themselves, if that makes sense. Okay, so there we go. Hooray! Okay. Well, let's see what we got next. We need to make a horn and some wings, and whew, I don't know if I can do it. Let's see. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how to make the wing, and it's very tiny, and it's basically got 3 little fingers coming off of it. Let's see if we can get that nice and focused there, with kind of a little rounded base. So this is the right side of the stitching, and then this is the wrong side. I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay, if you can see that, that's the wrong side. Okay, so let's make another one just like that. So we're going to start with our hook and start with our slip stitch. We're going to chain 4. Now the instructions tell us it's important we're going to be working in the back bumps only of the chain. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 4 chains. So this is the front of the chain, and it looks like kind of like a braid when you braid hair. If you turn it over on the back, it looks you'll see it looks kind of like a dashed line, these bumps, and those are the back bumps. Let's see if I can get a focus here. So we're going to be when you're inserting your hook into the chains, you're going to be using those back bumps. Oh, sorry, wish I could get that focus better. Alright, so let's get started. We're going to start, we got our chain 4. We're going to slip stitch in the back bump of the second chain from hook. So if you look on the back, there's 1, 2. We're going to go into that bump there. So we're going to insert the hook in that bump. See? Is it showing up for us? Let's see if we can't make that better. Okay. Oh, goodness, hang on. There we go. That's the ticket. Okay, so again, so there's our back bumps. 1, 2, 3, 4 back bumps. We're going to go in the one that's second chain from the hook. In other words, from the bottom it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's insert our hook into it. Okay, like that. And then we're going to slip stitch. So that means we're going to yarn over and just pull it through the stitch and the working loop. So there's one. Now we're going to do another one. Another slip stitch and that next bump, and then there's that last bump. Okay, so we have 3 slip stitches formed in the back of that chain. Okay, so whew, tiny work. Okay, and then this time we're gonna chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're gonna work in the back bumps again. So turn it over and you're gonna go slip stitch. Ooh, let's get it to focus. Come on. Come on. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. So there's one. Oh. I just want to make sure that you can see this really well. Okay. One and 2 and 3 and there's 4. Okay. Now we're going to chain 4. So this is how it's looking so far. So you've got, your chain 5 and then you work 4 slip stitches, and then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then turn it over, and you're going to work those 3 slip stitches in the back bumps. So 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so here's how it looks. Did I get that correct? Let's take a look. Oops, I think I messed up that last slip stitch. Let me try that one again. Okay. Okay, that's better. All right, so now you can see I've got kind of 3 fingers going up. So again, 4 chains, and then I worked 3 slip stitches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work some single crochets across these end rows. So first we're going to work a single crochet in the same hole that we were just in. This is for this last slip stitch. We're going to insert the hook in that hole again and do a single crochet. And then, so see where this longer middle one is? There's a hole right there in the end. So we're going to insert, and we're going to do 2 single crochets there. 1 and 2, like so. Let's see. There we go. Well, it's in focus for a second there, huh? Okay, and then the last stitch, you're going to go, see where this beginning knot is? You're going to go right into that hole and make a single crochet. Okay. So you've done 4 single crochets across. Now you're going to fasten off with about 5 inches of tail, pull it through the working loop, okay, Now we're going to put this on a needle, and we're going to do invisible fasten off to make it look it's high, to make so you won't see where it starts and ends. So we're going to take that tail, and we're going to find the, let's see, get that knot out of the way. We're just going to pull it down. So go into the next, this is V. You're going to skip this one. Go into this V up above it. Go under both loops. Just like as if you're inserting your crochet hook into a stitch. And don't pull it super tight, but you're going to pull it. And then you're going to insert the hook back into the, see this loop where your working yarn is emerging? You're going to insert it back into there. I hope you can see that. Oh, such tiny work. Okay, so we're going to pull that through. And then pull it snug, but not too snug, because you want it to kind of match the stitches around it. So this is how it's going to look. And then you're going to leave this tail for sewing the wing on. And you can, the beginning tail, you can either weave that in or just hide it in the body. So there's the wing.